Hi, I'm Liz with Toth Properties, powered by EXP Realty. I'm a residential real estate agent in Raleigh, North Carolina. And today is the final video in my buyer video series that I've done for the month of February. And we're actually going a different direction with today's video. This one is just for first-time home sellers. And this was inspired by clients I worked with previously or last year actually, and they were going through the process of selling their home for the first time ever. So they've never sold a home. So I thought it'd be helpful to go through that process and talk a little bit about what's involved. It's a very different process than purchasing. There's different emotions involved, things like that. If you missed any of the videos in my buyer video series, feel free to check out my YouTube channel, Welcome to Raleigh. You can subscribe, hit the bell, get notified anytime a new video has been uploaded. But I release 2 videos a week, every week this month, and they include importance of home ownership. I went through the entire buying process. We looked at financing options, wants versus needs, and attending open houses on your own. And then obviously today's video is going to be just for sellers. So feel free to check out my YouTube channel to get caught up if you missed anything. There's also city tours, community tours, more information on the real estate market on there as well. But today I'm going to share my screen and we will go through the process. When you're getting ready to sell your home, you're going to have that initial meeting. It's a list appointment for me. And you're basically going through the process to hire someone to sell your home. And that's really how you think about working with agents. If you're going to work with a buyer's agent, and you're signing that buyer agency agreement, you're hiring that person to help you find a home, get under contract, and get to close. Same thing with selling your home. You're hiring that person to help you through the entire process of selling your home, start to finish. And that involves, getting it ready for sale, marketing the home, going under contract, going through all the steps while you're under contract and getting it to close. So that initial meeting is usually it's a list appointment for me. So I'm going to be doing a presentation. I'm going to be showing all my marketing. And that's really important when you're selling a home, is you want your agent to have a strong marketing plan. So we go through that initial meeting. I learn a little bit more. I get a tour of the home. I always like to learn about what improvements were done to the home while the seller lived there. When do you need to move? When do you want to go on the market? We learn all of those things in the list appointment. And when you decide to hire me, we go through the process of signing the list agreement. So that is a long document. We go through it line by line, and it establishes the listing price of the property, when you want to go on the market. Do you want to allow open houses, things like that? And so that is the next step in the process. We also want to establish a competitive price. So I do this full time. I'm in the market all the time. I'm studying the market all the time. And I go through an extensive process when I'm getting ready to go on a list appointment of really analyzing comps in the area, in the neighborhood, in the community, looking at similar homes to try to come up with the best possible price, a price at which the home will sell. So we want to establish a competitive price that's in line with the comps. And it's also, it depends on the condition of the home as well. A lot of times if someone has done a ton of updates and the home is move-in ready, we may want to push that list price a little bit. But we take all that into consideration when we meet. So that is an important step in the process. And then we prepare the property for sale. So I offer, as a part of my services, a 2-hour consult with a stager. That stager is going to go with you room by room and help tell you what to do to get the home ready for showings and what to do to get it ready for photos. And that's an important step in the process. And if you go through that process and you do the things that the stager recommends, your house is going to show that much better in photos, videos, and in person. So that's an important step in the process. Once you get the house ready, we're going to do professional photos. I always do professional photos, videos, and drone. So I think it's very important to show the community and things like that. And you really can only do that via drone. If there's amenities in the community, we can show that as well via drone. It just gives a really good picture of the home and the community. So coming soon is a step in the process. We don't have to do coming soon. But coming soon is a good option. And what that means is that I can put your home in the MLS. I can put that it's coming soon for sale. I can put the price in there, all the information about the house. No one can go in and see the house. So nobody can schedule appointments to show the home during that coming soon period. This is a great way to just kind of build up, some like a sense of urgency, like, oh, the home comes on the market on Friday, in 3 days. And buyers who may have been looking in that community, I did this recently at a house, and by the time we went on the market, we had 8 showings for the first day. So doing coming soon for a couple of days to really get the word out that this home is, on the market, its showings are going to start Friday, can really kind of build up a sense of urgency, and, cause kind of like a frenzy depending on what's going on with the market. So then we get through the coming soon period, and then we officially list your property. So we're going to make it available for showing. So people are going to start coming in. Agents are going to schedule appointments. They're going to bring their buyers through the house. We're going to launch our Just Listed marketing campaign, which that involves social media, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Just Listed postcards, lots of marketing materials in the house. I do agent-to-agent marketing as well, and agents are going to start bringing their clients through the house. We also like to hold open houses as well. So I really like having folks come through open houses, and I have had multiple homes sell because that buyer came through the open house, and they already had an agent, but they just happened to be driving by, or they knew this home was coming on the market. They wanted to check it out in advance and see if it would work, and then turns around, gets their agent, makes an offer on the home sells. So I do believe open houses are a positive part of the experience, or the process, but I do understand that some sellers don't want them and they don't like them. And, I would never force somebody to have an open house. And if you don't want to have an open house, we have another option, which is to do an open house virtually, where I'm live on Facebook, which I don't love that, but I will do that because it's a great way to get your home exposure and give us additional marketing options. And then we start to receive an offer or offers. So as a part of the process, I review all the offers with the seller, and I always run a seller net. So it's going to tell you what you would potentially net with this offer versus this offer. So it's just going to help you determine, it'll help you better determine what is the best offer for you. Now, sometimes the highest offer isn't always the best offer. There may be other terms and things that are important to a seller that outweigh the other, but most of the time it's going to be the offer that's going to net you the most money. So that's an important part of the process, and knowing that what you're going to net when you're going under contract. So we go under contract. I'm going to be coordinating with the buyer's agent to get the due diligence fee to you. If you miss the explanation on the due diligence fee, check out the buying process. I do a good explanation on what the due diligence fee is, what it means, and what happens during that process. But we go under contract. We're officially in the due diligence period. This is the time period where the buyer is going to do their inspections. So they're going to be coming back for their home inspection. They're going to do probably a termite inspection or check for wood destroying pests. They're going to do a radon test. And then based on those results, typically they may do additional inspections as well, like an HVAC inspection. They could do a structural engineer inspection as well. But during that period of time, the buyer has that right to go in and to do all their investigation on the property. On the seller side, so the buyer's doing that, so you're going to have to give them access to the home for all of those things. But what you're going to be working on is getting all the stuff together for the attorney. So if you have a copy of your title insurance policy, you're going to be filling out all the forms and getting that all ready for the attorney so that they can start their attorney review for the buyer. And it's a step in the process to get us towards close. Also during this time, a buyer may ask for you to make some repairs. Per our North Carolina offer to purchase, homes are sold as is. Sellers are not obligated to make any repairs or give money in lieu of repairs, but that's not going to stop a buyer from asking for repairs. So there may be a period of time where we talk through repairs and whether or not you want to do anything, if you want to give some money in lieu of repairs, things like that. It just depends on the situation, what is being asked for, and things like that. It's really, I can't tell you one way or another whether you should do the repairs or you shouldn't do repairs. It's just really on a case-by-case basis and what's being asked for. If the buyer is getting a loan, we're going to get they'll get an appraisal as well. So you'll be getting a showing request for that, or an appraisal request where the appraiser is going to come in, they're going to measure, they're going to take photos, and they're going to do that for the buyer's lender so that they know what the property appraises for. Once we get through all of that, there may be additional inspections, but you'll be working on moving out of the home, packing and everything like that if you haven't already packed up and moved. But you'll be working on that as well as a part of this process. I usually have sellers go into the attorney's office and sign in advance, or if you've already left town and you're moving out of state, for example, we can do a remote closing as well with sellers. And that's where the attorney will email you all the seller documents to complete. You usually have to have a notary come to your house or go to a notary to complete those documents, and you get them shipped back to the attorney. The buyers will do the final walkthrough. So the house, you have to be, by the time they're doing the final walkthrough, you need to be out of the house, and the house should be, pretty clean, ready for the buyer. They say having the home in as good a condition or better than when they did the showing. So there shouldn't be any like holes in the walls or things like that. If something happened during the move process, you'll want to get it repaired before that final walkthrough. So once they do the final walkthrough, then they go to the attorney's office to sign all the paperwork. You've already done your paperwork, so your part is done. So as long as the attorney has all the buyer documents signed, all the seller documents signed, and the money from the buyer and the lender, they will go to record. We do not release the key to the property until the property is officially recorded with the county. The reason for this is if something were to happen in the process, let's say the appointment was late for the buyer to sign. They didn't get it recorded that day. So maybe it's a Friday and it didn't make it. So it hasn't recorded with the county. It's still in your name. If that buyer has the key, they go in the house and they flood the place. Well, that's going to be on the seller. That's your responsibility because technically you still own the property. So we don't want to give the key until it's officially recorded with the county. And once it is, we give the key. And once it is officially recorded with the county is when the attorney will release the seller proceeds, which do get wired to the seller. And we talk about that at length because there is a lot of wire fraud today. So when you do send your wiring instructions or give your wiring instructions, they usually have to be handwritten by you and notarized by a notary, or the attorney will notarize it as well. So that's really important, and it's to help avoid wire fraud. So that is the entire process that you go through when you're selling a home. If you have questions on selling your home, or you're thinking about selling your home in the near future, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to go into more detail and show samples of my marketing and things like that. If you want to check out more videos, check out my YouTube channel. I have a lot of information on there: community tours, city tours, buyer tips. I also have a lot of seller tips on there as well. And I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.